Welcome to the Coffee and Questions podcast. I am your host, Michelle BERMAN-MIKEL, and my mission with this podcast is simple: to help realtors and loan officers across the world tap into the value Instagram can have for them and their business. To me, organic business that comes to us is the name of the game. On this show, you're going to hear from myself, other experts across social media, and also others that are just like you, selling real estate and doing loans and doing it at a high level on social media.
Which the average view duration that we get on that is about anywhere from 10 to 14 minutes. And the click-through rate's higher, and the impressions, which means that YouTube suggested it to someone and they stopped for a half a second or longer, is usually in the millions. So YouTube is really doing a good job at trying to figure out exactly who the core audience is. So what happens is, when this is one thing that agents do that's detrimental to your channel, is they'll take the link from their YouTube channel or their video and they'll start sending it to all their friends. They'll start posting it on Facebook, Instagram, because these are what marketers teach people, and they just don't know what they're doing. Because this is another thing that drove me nuts when I got into real estate, is everybody was making videos. And like I said at the beginning, the videos that we make aren't what videos are taught, because I had to put myself into the journey. And when I'd ask people, I'd say, "Oh, are you getting deals off of those videos you're making?" And they're like, "No, but it's what my coach is telling me to do." And, eventually it'll happen. I've talked to people that have been doing videos for 3 years. They have 900 videos on their channel and they don't get any business. They have no subscribers, and they're just being told to keep going. It's going to bust loose. And at the end of the day, it's not going to happen. I went down that path. I know exactly what's going to happen. So when your friends and family are clicking on those links, what they're going to do is they're going to subscribe, and they're going to watch the video for about 1 minute, and then they're going to click off, and then they're never going to come back to your channel. And now what you've just told YouTube is that your content sucks. Your content can't even hold an audience. So now you've just given YouTube a false premise of who all of your audience is, and that your content's bad. So YouTube is going to put you in the penalty box. And what the ultimate goal for YouTube is to make money. And the way that they make money is through advertisers. And the longer that you can stay on the content, like for the people that aren't in the YouTube VIP program, you pay the $15 a month membership to not see ads, right? So a lot of people don't subscribe to that. So they're seeing a lot of ads. And it doesn't matter if your channel is monetized or not. YouTube's going to serve up those ads. People ask me all the time, does it matter if I monetize my channel? The answer is no. It's going to work the same way no matter what. Personally, I used to think if YouTube's making money off of me, because they used to only put ads on channels that were monetized. Now it's on every channel. So I figured if they were only getting paid off monetized channels, of course they're going to favor the ones that they're making money on, but that wasn't the case back then. And so we've seen over the course of 2 years, we have 50,000 subscribers, millions of views, and we can just see how we can get these channels popping super quick. And a good example is in Houston, Texas. That's a channel that Jackson, my business partner, started 14 months ago. It has about 50 videos. We have about 11,000 subscribers, and we've been doing it for 14 months. And then and they're all through our recipe. And there's another channel down there that another agent that isn't with us created, and she's been doing it for 7 years. She has 600 videos, and she has 2,800 subscribers. And if you look at it, her top 2 videos, it's the same style that we teach, which I'm sure she found it off of our stuff. But a lot of her videos are all listing videos and those things, which you can do. It's just, that's not what the consumers are searching for. But what I would recommend in that situation is, if you do want to do listing videos, or if you do want to do home tours, is unlist them. So that way it doesn't count against your analytics, and YouTube isn't taking that into consideration into the algorithm that's building, because YouTube is also the only platform in social media it's a single party user. So it's a true creators platform, and all of us have direct access into their analytics, unlike Facebook and all those other ones where they hide it. So YouTube is very transparent, and they also are a creators platform. So it's the creators actually policed each other. So the only way I'm going to get in trouble is if somebody turns me in, and vice versa. So it isn't like there's all this policing going on in the YouTube space. Jackson and I actually met with the VP of legal for YouTube. He actually called us off of our YouTube channel and wanted to buy a house in Portland. He was actually going to work for Nike, and he told us how the whole legal system worked with YouTube and all these things. And it was pretty powerful. So every single year, our business has been able to grow and scale, and really it's gone. And that's why every year, our business took off like a rocket, was because I was doing the cold calling and door knocking. or actually it was cold calling and open houses. And then and then when the YouTube stuff started engaging, that was in the 2019. And then I stopped doing all the other stuff. YouTube took over. I did 12 million off of YouTube in my cold calling that year. And then the next year it went to 50 million. And it was just a wild, and that's when the pandemic hit. And the crazy part about all that is and the way that I was able to scale it up really fast too, was that I made the move to EXP on March 1st, 2020. And that was 2 weeks before the pandemic. It was like the biggest blessing of my life. And I met one of my partners there, and he said, your business model is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. You should step out of production because you're generating all this business, and you can, work a healthy split with your agents. So we have a really robust process with our team. They all answer the phones. They all work with the leads. They close the deals, and I get a piece of the commissions at every closing. And so I've actually started that in Portland, Oregon. We went to Seattle to test our process and see if we could replicate it. We went to Seattle. It worked a lot quicker. We spent 1 day in Seattle. We came home to Portland, filmed all the videos. And then in middle of 2020, I was in Portland. There was all the riots. It was crazy. I lived downtown. So I was literally in the middle of all of it. And I was just so tired of it. And I had to get out of there. And I actually moved to North Scottsdale, Arizona. And so it's funny, I'm not even licensed in Arizona yet. I have all this business around the country going on. And it's the true definition of being location independent. Like, a lot of agents talk about that. And a lot of real estate agents are really stuck into their career as a real estate agent. I talk to agents all the time that are like, I would love to leave, but I can't because of my business. And at the end of the day, like, you have to have you just have to have the confidence and surround yourself with the right people that can show you those paths to success. Like, I didn't have anybody guiding me. I just had someone that told me to step out of production, and then I did it. And I just figured it out along the way, but when we have so many hot deals calling in, so of that 100 million, it was 193 transactions. So those are what I gave. Like I said, I don't get paid on their listings. I don't get paid on the deals that they bring to the table. It's just a real generous value exchange that we have. But so when people want to share their stuff on YouTube, from YouTube to Instagram and Facebook and things like that, what I suggest is having your editor rip clips out of your content. And if you have a VA editor or whatever it is, like, you just have to train them to do it the right way. Like you and I always discuss, like, saying, like, here's the right, like, you could take a YouTube video and put it on Instagram, but it's not going to be the right content for Instagram. Like, every platform needs to be treated as its own unique individual personality. So Instagram is a lot different than YouTube. So you have to just position the content in a different matter. So that way it's going to engage with your audience. And like, the one thing I've learned with you is that a lot of the audience that you build is through engagement, right? So with YouTube, they're engaging with us. Like, we're not having to manually engage with them. And, it's also a lot trickier with YouTube because, like, you can't see if somebody like clicks on your stuff and sees who previews it unless they like subscribe. You can only see subscribers, right? And likes and commenters. So there's a lot of things that go into it. But I think if I was like, the way that I like to do it is I like to make my one video for YouTube, have it repurposed down into bite-sized snackable content for Instagram, have it posted on Instagram, and then just let that be a piece of one of my pillars into my content world. Because I do think that every single social media platform has a viable space in the industry. It's just, you have to treat them as unique individuals, because what a lot of agents do is they take their one piece of content and they put it on every platform the exact same way. And then they always wonder why they're not cross-pollinating and getting trade-off. Like, you hear agents say all the time, I have 100,000 subscribers on Instagram, but I have 10 subscribers on YouTube, and I don't understand why. I'm trying to push everyone to these other platforms. And it's like, because that's the platform that they feel comfortable with viewing you. So if you want to go build another platform, you need to treat it as such and figure out exactly how to build that audience. Like, the other thing I'm really good at is building Facebook groups that I sell high ticket coaching and courses. And I was always like spending 30 grand a month, making 30 grand a month on courses. I ended up hiring clients in community. And now my courses, I'm making $80,000 a month, and I'm spending $900 a month, but I'm building it all through an organic Facebook group. So like I said, that's another example of using the right tools and the right platforms for what it's actually meant for, not what I think it's meant for. Because in real estate, like I've mentioned before, is that real estate is really, really good at telling you what to do when it doesn't work, which drives me freaking nuts. So that's kind of like that's the way I would repurpose it and I would present it. And I mean, I think you're in agreement with it, but like from everything that I've gathered from Instagram and the trainings, it's about creating your own personal brand of lifestyle and injecting a little bit of that real estate to it,
Yeah, 100%. If you enjoyed this episode, please go follow my guests on social media. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please consider leaving us a review wherever you consume this content.